As part of our Investors Insight series, we're talking to Winnipeg companies about how they've shifted their workplaces and their products during COVID-19. And right now I'm joined by Monique Buckberger from PCL to talk a little bit about how that company has shifted. So Monique, people might be familiar with PCL because you've been involved in so many major projects here in Winnipeg as a major construction company here, but also across North America.
That's right.
I understand you guys were also working on some interesting things during COVID-19, particularly your isolation unit. Tell us about that.
So our isolation unit idea came from our special projects division. It was partnered with local suppliers and subcontractors, and it's based on a CCAN container. So it's medical grade. It can be easily expandable and it transports fantastically. It can be located up in remote areas and goes together very, very quickly. The expandability can be seen in small containers or the use of larger containers, as well as putting multiple containers together and adjoining them.
And I understand it can be set up really quickly, like inside of half an hour?
It's a very quick setup. The container gets dropped off, gets leveled, and essentially it's connected to a power source and it is up and running.
Have you had a lot of interest from businesses or organizations for it?
We have had several calls from remote First Nations communities and even the Red Cross, and they've put the unit on their list should they be required to be mobilized in particularly remote locations.
I understand you worked with some other Winnipeg companies on this isolation unit. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, we worked with suppliers like E.H. Price, who have supplied units that provide the HVAC in the isolation containers.
What does it feel like to know that Winnipeg is part of a very interesting product like that that can be used globally?
I think it really speaks to the ingenuity and the adaptability of our Winnipeg culture.
Now for a North American perspective on where PCL is going forward with opportunities, I'm joined now by Sean Barnes, who is with PCL.
Hi, Eleanor.
Hi. Tell us a little bit about where PCL is going in the future now with opportunities.
Well, I think the first thing I would say is that what we've done as it relates to the pandemic is we've taken a look inward and outward simultaneously. We've looked at what we need to do as an organization to get ourselves properly organized and set up for what's going to change in the future. And then we've also looked downstream and said, okay, how is our industry going to change potentially forever? And so there are a number of initiatives that have come out of that that are specifically focused to the pandemic. So we have the Smart Screening and Testing Pods, which is a testing and vaccination pod, a modular solution that takes testing and vaccination outside of a hospital or outside of a clinic. And that's one of the initiatives that we built prototypes and we're marketing throughout North America. Another one is UV sanitation using far UV lights. Looking at things like carts, luggage, airline fuselage, cruise lines. There's all kinds of applications that can be used for surface disinfection. And so we've built modules for that purpose. And then we've also taken a look at, how can we help our customers return to work? And so there's all kinds of things that have changed in our industry and in life in general as it relates to things like the 6-foot office solution, barriers and all kinds of other things that our customers are trying to figure out so that they can return to work effectively. And so we've worked on that and we have lots of things that we're working on across the company to help our customers return to work.
Thanks very much, Sean. If you want to learn more about PCL, Yes Winnipeg, or this Investor Insight series, you can go to our website at economicdevelopmentwinnipeg.com.